Yeah. But I throw religion out there because just going into it, this is just going to be a random podcast. So I took some courses, in college, theology, which, I had to take two of them, and it kind of bored the hell out of me. But then I took philosophy. No, I took a lot more away from philosophy than I did with any theology course I took. And it's not because they didn't focus on the religion part of it. They focused on more theories of, your physical form
Right.
versus your, I don't know.
Your spiritual.
If you're a Marvel nerd, your astral body. If you like Strange, or if you like Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
or if you're hippie, or your chakras.
Or your chakras. If you're working with, what's her name that we used to work with? I don't want to name drop anybody. Maybe I shouldn't do that.
I literally don't know any of my coworkers.
Well, she doesn't work there anymore.
I don't try to learn their names. They never last more than 6 months anyway.
That's sad but true. Yeah.
That's given.
That's the life of a grill cook.
It's the life of anything.
Or of a cook in general, or of a restaurant employee.
Yeah.
But
we're slaves and soon will be replaced by robots.
Yeah, that's why we're trying to make money here. Robots aren't going to get the depth of the soul we're going to get at right now.
We're going to end up selling drugs.
Well, hopefully not. We might have to cut that part out. We can't just say we're going to sell drugs on YouTube.
We're just going to go back to woe. Everyone in the world's going to be on welfare.
Yeah. But no.
We're like Lebanon.
Full disclaimer, we're not saying we sell drugs.
Yeah, wink. No, kidding.
I chose the wrong eye to wink because the camera caught me. Anyway, no, going full into that, dude, there are some weird theories, that reminds you, if you watch Stranger Things.
Yeah, I just finished the first half of the fourth season. I binge watched it.
I was binging it yesterday.
Yeah,
I was binging that shit yesterday.
I finished the one half there. I got mad. I was
like, I'm on 5. There's 7 of them, I think. I'm on 5.
I think so, yeah. I just finished one this afternoon.
Dude, the whole Upside Down, I watched Stranger Things after I took my philosophy courses. So my philosophy courses, the first one was just intro, and there were some theories. What the hell is it? The one in the cave. It's the most popular one. I forget the name, but something in the cave. But it's basically your life, right? You start out. It's not like religion. It's just basically what happens to your body, because they try to take one abstract thought and another, and just kind of combine them, and then separate them to be all right, so they have to be combined at some point.
Right.
Because, if you take away a part of your brain, you're brain dead, or if you take away a part of, your body has to be separate from your astral form or your spirit or whatever you want to call it.
I get all that.
Because there's something left, you lose an arm, you lose a limb, you lose a leg, you're still you. You know what I mean? This is one of the arguments they make in philosophy, is you're still you. You know what I mean? You've got everything there. But once you lose a part of your brain, or you lose something that's psychological or something, it seems to damage something about you. Whether it's just neurons firing and you can say it's still physical, or it's not, you seem to lose you when you lose that. So there's that. I know we're getting deep now. There's that. There's that part about you that's that's why I say I'm not religious. Meaning I don't buy into any one religion, even though I was raised Catholic, Christian.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I know. No, it's just I went through the whole confirmation right after 7th grade. I kind of said bye to that, was didn't really buy into it that much as my family probably would have liked me to.
Oh yeah, I feel that. I still get text messages about the things I post.
Yeah. How could you post that stuff?
Because I'm a terrible human being.
Because I'm just honest with myself, and you're not. No,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to say it like it is. It's I'm not hating on anybody, but
I am a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I got beef.
You got beef. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, to each their own, but only if you're gonna listen to what I gotta say too. You know what I mean? So if there's something about that separates you. There's this whole circle that they explain of it was really weird. Now, I said I have a few in me, so I'm going to see if I can explain this correctly from memory. But basically, the whole your life is in a circle. Now, there's a line, right? And the half circle is your life. Your birth to your death. So you're going to age. You're going to get older.
I'm really looking forward to that. And
You're getting you're getting older. You're looking forward to that end part. So you're looking forward to the first end of the half circle. Alright, so when that half circle ends, you're going to go into, this is where it reminds me of the upside down, because they almost describe it as the upside down in philosophy, as in Stranger Things. You're going to go in the upside down in your soul, or whatever you want to call it. You know, you're religious or not, your astral body, your separate form, whatever. Your not physical form of your body is in that realm now. It's going to do a loop. Now, the whole reason that they explain things like deja vu and you get like random, because I get that shit. I don't know if you get that.
Oh yeah.
Like I get deja vu all the time. I get random things. I'm like, what the fuck was that from? You know what I mean? And you don't know how to explain it. The whole reason they explain that is because once you're breaching back through, they say it's almost like a reincarnation, but with its own twist. That's going to go through, and you're going to be born into another body. You're not going to remember your past life, going through that astral realm or whatever you want to call it, and it's going to go right back into like another body. And the reason you have deja vu is because you're remembering, like as a baby, you start remembering as you get older shit, and you get deja vu from your past life. And it's like, now, like I said, I'm not saying I buy into all that. I'm just saying,
For real.
it's interesting to contemplate. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not religious, but I definitely think there's something separate from your physical body. Like, there's something weird there. Spiritual, there's energy. I don't know what it manifests into, but, like, it's weird.
Yeah. You gotta have something with all those fucking little atoms, all that. Produce some kind of strange energy.
Yeah, like, you gotta figure there's some residual energy, like you're saying.
I don't think
like,
there's no hocus pocus wizard up in the world.
no, that's exactly. Like, I don't buy into beard in heaven kind of guy.
If
but
there's
like,
something up there, he's a real piece of shit.
I mean,
It's like we're
man,
it's like we're fucking pet ants, and he just shakes it up every now and again.
yeah, you're right. I mean,
just stop feeding us.
yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the argument. If God's all powerful, he can't be all good. If he's all good, he can't be all powerful.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's why they made the scapegoat.
Yeah.
That's why I figured religion's been created by power-hungry pedophiles.
And there's a large extent to that that's probably true. I mean, you know, it's...
Right? Yeah. Because most people back in the day couldn't fucking read.
Well, I think...
And they believed everything. They had no idea how the world
My
worked.
opinion is religion was created a lot of the time as it was a blueprint for a society that had no rhyme or reason to behavior. You know what I mean? Like, once you're told and you're scared to death of a certain thing...
Right. It's so much easier.
You're going to become civilized, and you're going to be able to control people.
Yeah, because fear's the best way to
It was a control tactic, and you know, like I said, my grandmother's rolling over in her grave right now if she hears this podcast, and like, because she was the most religious. You know what I mean?
I don't think she's gonna get it.
Yeah, she's probably not gonna get it, but
I don't think they have Wi-Fi in heaven.
Probably not Bluetooth either. But yeah, no, she was the most Catholic person. So if anyone's rolling over, it's her right now. But I don't knock, as we're thinking, I don't knock anybody for their beliefs. You know, we're all on this spinning fireball of a fucking rock, or rather we're spinning on a rock that's surrounding a fireball, rather I should have said it that way. We're just sun moving how many millions of miles per second. It's like, you know what I mean? And when you zoom out from us, every one of us, we try to make our own purpose in life and stuff, but it's just... When you look at the grand scheme of things, man, it's crazy shit. Like, I shared that thing with you the other day, the stand-up, and he was like, yeah. It's like, oh, it makes more sense as space gets more distant, there's more nothingness, and you're like, that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh yeah, I see that bunch of times. That doesn't make
You're like, never going to think about that one again.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just get black holes among black holes and galaxies. We're one galaxy that, like, I heard a statistic. There are literally more galaxies in existence, and we're one with all of our planets in our galaxy. There are more galaxies that they can, like, confirm or identify. Like, we don't know what's in them, but we can confirm them as galaxies than there are grains of sand on Earth.
Right. I want to know who went and fucking counted all those.
That shit. I mean, they plug that shit into a computer, and you know what I mean? Like, but, like, still, that statistic, even if it's relatively close.
It's so many.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, and for not...
That's enough to get drunk or high to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's...
Yeah, you spoke to that. And like, there's a good chance that there's a planet with just weed on it.
Dude, there's a planet made of weed.
I fucking hope.
There's a planet made of weed.
Yeah, there's so much more advanced than us.
We already talked about the upside down, man.
Everyone's already chill.
We talked about the upside down. You imagine the alternate dimensions there are. I buy into that too.
Alternate dimensions.
I buy into alternate dimensions.
The science says so.
The science.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I like the idea of simulation, because whoever's playing my character fucking sucks. Like it's like they got bored.
But there's a million versions of your character in these other dimensions.
They're all terrible characters. It's like it's like they're like, let me try this game out, and then they pick me, and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna pick new characters, and I'm just kind of like stuck in limbo, like an old.
They tried it out for 5 minutes, and they just want to dip out.
Yeah,
like, can I just redo this? Let me just restart the whole campaign.
I can't raise the charisma on this one.
I mean, you know, I don't like. I buy into it because. All right, so when I started out this channel, you may remember the biggest hits that I got for all of my 10 subscribers that I have right now. Thank you.
Yeah, they're all bots, bro.
They might be all bots, but even if they are, I'm still gonna thank the robots for now. It's a good start. 8 to 10 is good.
Yeah. We're gonna have 4 by the end of this.
We're gonna have 4 by the end. They're gonna be like, dude, it's an hour long. We gotta edit. Anyway. The reason I buy into it is a little bit. I'm not saying I'm gonna, fully like. I don't lay all my eggs in one fucking basket, but I'm open-minded, is what I'll say. So Bob Lazar.
Yes,
you know that name.
Yeah, I watched him. I think I see him on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Joe Rogan. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So I watched his documentary after I watched Joe Rogan's podcast, and dude, his story. The reason it's unique is because his story has held up for years.
Right.
Like, you get the UFO, people that come out of the woodwork and they'll report something or it'll change, but it'll be like a hit and miss kind of thing. His has stayed the same, and then he predicted that element, which I'm not going to remember the name of right now, but he predicted in the 80s or the 70s, whatever the hell that was, that this element would come to fruition, and it was a propulsion element, and it helped in that shit.
Yeah. Oh, because he was studying the spacecrafts.
Right.
That they found.
And he said this back in the 70s, early 80s, and then the element was on the periodic table like late 90s, early 2000s. So like it was, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the stuff that he was talking about checked out years later, and you're like, I'm looking at this shit, and it's like
and they called him fucking nuts.
They called him nuts. They said he was crazy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when he spills,
he's very careful.
Area 51.
Yeah, he's very careful about the stuff. And like I said, again, this isn't like buying into there's alien shit, but
I'm probably gonna go buy his book. Audiobook it.
I would, dude. If you want, we can do in depth. Like I said, we're gonna do a lot of in depth shit on a lot of different stuff. But this is just getting a framework for everything. So he had that whole thing with, Joe Rogan, which blew up even more because Joe Rogan's podcast is the most listened to podcast in the United States, probably.
Yeah, it's always something interesting. It's either a comedian.
Yeah, it is. It's always entertaining.
Or I'm going to learn something.
It's a comedian or it's a politician, but like the thing that I want to get to with this is like we're just talking here is like the same thing. If I were going to model it after, I don't want to model it after another podcast, but if I were to, it's that, because if we get to the point where we start having guests on and stuff, you know what I mean? Like I want opposing views. Like I don't want an echo chamber. I don't want somebody talking to me and is going to agree with me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm always interested in learning stuff. I don't know if I'm going to remember or retain it.
Well, right, but
but I'll sit there and listen.
Listen into other viewpoints is how you evolve as an intelligent species. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't mean you're gonna.
At this point, we're screwed.
We kind of got to the point where maybe we're too intelligent. Which is...
I don't know. I've seen those TikTok things.
Well, okay. Too intelligent with technology, but on average, somehow we're also getting dumber parallel. I don't understand it. Like, I feel like we're at the dumbest, but at the smartest right now. It doesn't make any sense.
We're just occupied at this particular moment.
Yeah. Like, our technology is scary.
We're like an infant with keys.
But if you think about it, our technology is scary to the point to where, like, we're getting AI to the point where it's, like, to me, almost threatening. But then you get the stupid-ass people that are just living off TikToks and have the IQ of, like, a lizard. And then, like, yeah, that's what sells, and sure, good on you for making millions doing a dance move.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm glad you're.
Humanity is at its dumbest right now, and technology is at its smartest, and that's kind of scaring me. Like I've watched enough Terminator movies and crap.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, fucking Skynet.
Like, yeah, to know where this is going.
Like it's like almost like they're gonna take Elon Musk's things and then turn them evil. I was doing it for the science.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna do some software, like upload some kind of software thing that's gonna screw us over. It's gonna like basically because we're too dumb to operate for ourselves.
Yeah, besides like
we're gonna have it do some shit for us, and it's gonna go south. And that was actually a Bill Burr bit. He was talking about that. He said he was in like a hotel or a motel, like on one of his tours, and he was just watching, cable TV and shit. And he was watching literally them interviewing this robot, and it was like an AI. It was like a fully operational robot, and it was interviewing him. This guy's like giving like the questions like it's a regular fucking human, right. And he's talking to him back and forth, and he's like, what are your main goals? And they literally said, he was like on that thing. It was like, yeah, it's the take over, or not take over. He said like to be smarter than its creator of humans. And it's like, dude, unplug that shit. It was like, dude, you gotta find the switch.
Do not let this thing on the internet.
Right. It's like
we are screwed.
It's like, yeah, man. I don't see why people don't see where it's gonna stop. And all the people working on the shit, they're, you know what I mean, like making it better and better. And they're just so like, I saw somebody get offended because they compared it to like the Terminator movies, and I'm like, what the fuck? What else would you compare it to? Yeah, right. There's an AI robot sitting across the table from it, and I'm like,
this is like Will Smith.
It's like that's not what it is. It's supposed to help us and aid us in every. I'm like, dude.
And we're supposed to be what, like pets?
Yeah, and then it's literally gonna take our gerbs, and then it's, you know what I mean? Like AI,
right?
They're gonna take our jobs, and what the hell are we gonna do? We're gonna just create more robots.
Exactly.
And then the robots are gonna take over, and then we're screwed. I mean.
So we gotta rise against now. Maybe the evangelist Christians, maybe they're right dead with technology. As they write it,
they'll be the first to go.
Yeah, I hope so. As they use their iPhones to talk about how technology is destroying the world.
Is the basically demon of this era.
Nothing screams, I'm a hypocrite. Better.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I was just Yeah, we can get into that, but like, dude, Bob Lazar, like that was. We'll get into that too. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a good show.
We're getting to aliens. We're getting to political stuff. We went through life and death. We went through WWE and Amber Turd. I mean, this podcast is gonna be about everything. Like I said, we're gonna do probably reaction to shit. I don't know, trailers. We'll do reactions to wrestling probably.
Oh, definitely. Once we figure out how this works.
Once we figure it out, this is just a rough draft, and we'll edit what we want to edit. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I'm going to cut it, obviously, so it's not a 50-minute video on YouTube.
That I look.
I'll cut some parts.
Yeah, I look this fat in real life.
You look... the camera adds 10 pounds, right? Is that what they say?
That's what they say, but with today's technology...
Yeah, I don't know. I also didn't get the first couple minutes
There's no filters
to
help.
We're gonna... There's no filters to help?
Not this face, no.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You got anything else you got to come to mind, or you want to wrap it for this one?
Nothing I can think of about that. All right. But I think that was good for a rough draft.
Well, shit. We'll wrap it here. Like... on YouTube, you subscribe anywhere. I'm gonna include, if he has Twitter or any other social media, I'll include it in the link down below on YouTube. Like, subscribe. We still got, favorite. You can share it on any social media platforms you got. We appreciate it. If you stuck around for this whole shit, I thank you for that.
The rambling nonsense.
The rambling nonsense that is. This is your living room half of the time too. Most of you that are going to view this, you've had these conversations, sober or not.
That cord is not for hanging. It's just like, if this doesn't do well, it might be.
Yeah. So subscribe, Jesus, subscribe. But no, share on any social media platforms, and I mean, shit. We'll see you on the next one.